All right, welcome to the My People podcast. If you notice, I'm on the different side of the table, and there's only one person in this world that could walk into my studio and say, I think I'll sit here. You sit over there. And that is my wife, Marla Moore.
She likes what she likes, folks.
You're going to have to stop looking at the screen.
I can't help it. I was born for the stage and the screen.
I feel like a lot of people who know both of us have been waiting and wondering, when is Marla going to come on the podcast? And here you are.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
You don't hit this. You don't touch the switchboard. I edit in post, okay? I don't edit live, so I'm trying not to. I want you to not be distracted.
Oh, it records like all
this,
angles.
Yes.
And you actually record and post. Then what are you doing, switching it over like that?
Well, I do this as a shortcut. So like when I'm editing and post, if I just every once in a while hit all three cameras, I'll have those on my timeline to bring up and edit.
I'm sorry. It's natural that I want to see what I look like in the monitor. Like that's a very natural thing for me.
I'll leave you up
coming
there.
from where I come from.
I'll leave you up there, but you got to promise not to be like staring up there the whole time instead of.
I like talking to them. They're why I'm here.
That's you. They're this.
No, they're right there. The audience is right there, and I'm performing for them. This is a service for them. And if I don't provide anything for them, what's it for?
Yeah, look into the camera, not your own face on the screen behind the camera.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
It's nice to have you. I've been waiting for this moment.
Anything for you.
Okay. Let's just dive right in. How do you feel about the state of the world today, Marla? What's your thoughts?
I'm terribly optimistic. There's always going to be challenges, but we are going to find solutions for those challenges, and we can't live in fear.
I love that.
I learned that from you.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
I told you I'd make you look good on this podcast.
I mean, you make me look good everywhere we go. I know that you are definitely out there making change in the world. Ann Arbor Music Academy, over 100 students coming in there every week getting lessons.
Yeah.
What's it like to have a business that's actually starting to run somewhat smooth from the hectic, chaotic mess that it was at the beginning?
It's amazing. It's amazing because like I couldn't even see the fruits of my labor last year or the year before because I was so stuck in fear and imposter syndrome and me, ego. Like I am gonna ruin it because I don't believe in myself yet. So I started believing in myself more, or just accomplishing it and finding the right people to do the things I'm really bad at. And it's amazing. I mean, every time I go in there, it's a good vibe. Yeah, Wednesday, I went in there. I don't work that day, and I had a makeup lesson to do because we went to a competition last weekend, so I couldn't do a lot of lessons. And it was crazy because like everybody was high-fiving each other. There's like a dad group in the lobby, like high-fiving and being like, what kind of books are you reading? Like, what kind of music are you listening to? And all these little kids running around that I don't even know yet by name. Like I used to know everyone by name. There's so many people now that I can't know everybody by name. But yet I built something that can benefit their lives and their family's life and help the kids. And it's just, it's everything.
You're telling me about the dads like fist bumping, saying goodbye and stuff. It's
I know. Community.
This little melting pot of community. Yeah.
It's my life's work. It's a culmination of every triumph and struggle.
Well, you care so much about it because you grew up in lessons and were influenced by the instructors that you had growing up. And then now you have this, like, not only is it you teaching, you have a lot of students still, but another 80 that aren't even your students that you're facilitating a facility and the systems and automations and things to make it just run and work. And
because we need more of it.
Yeah.
There's been it's just been a couple of teachers on the scene in Ann Arbor for the last 10 years. And that's just unacceptable because there's so many more people that want to actually teach, but they just don't have the resources. They don't know how to find the students. They don't have space to teach in. What the heck? Like
Well,
that's what's holding us back from providing these vital services. That's easy. Well, let's make it happen.
Well, you knew the pain points because you were
I
running
knew
your
pain
own
points.
studio.
Yeah, pain point
and you
is
were like,
especially
billing's
billing.
hard.
Billing's hard.
Reminding people of their payments is
Yeah.
hard. Doing this.
Rules
and
are
actually,
hard.
in a lot of ways, it like, think about all the time you freed up. I remember when you had your own studio, you'd be like, oh, I have to get down and email all these parents that owe me money. And you would have to spend so much time doing it. It's almost like you got back so much of your time from that because you bought this like software that we set up and got it set up where it's automatically sending these notifications. So it's like you benefited hugely from that. And you took away that pain point for other instructors. Now they come in there and
they do their work, and then they can leave and they know everything's taken care of. I know.
Yeah, that's huge.
That was the purpose. And it was a huge pain point for me because I'm a creative person and I want to put all of my heart and soul into the interactions I have with people. And the billing, I had to figure it out so that I could like obviously find someone that's better at it to hand it over to. And we found that perfect person finally. And it is amazing.
Crystal,
because it's also taken
we love her.
We love Crystal. Crystal, we love you. Yes. And yeah.
Yeah, because that's not something, and it's okay to be like, okay, I'm not good at this admin stuff, and that
I'm
was
not.
really weighing everybody down. Like even when I was involved, it took like 3 people that were like somewhat competent at it.
And an archaic system. We had a bad system, and then we like. It's so scary to change systems when you haven't even really learned all of the system that you actually had. Like there were more features to learn, there were more things to do, but I knew it was going to be really the wrong fit. I knew how confused I was and how bad it felt, and to be confused too, and all the brain power it took for me to figure out certain things. It was like, oh, can't do it anymore. And I'm so glad that we like took that. You helped a lot through that. You helped me transition really, really well.
Well, that first program was horrible. You know that.
And I was sold on it because I saw a competitor using it because I have, shiny thing.
Well, I mean, that's validation. It's like a review. You're like, oh, if they're using
it,
and
I
look
thought that would be
successful,
good.
that's it.
Yeah.
But there was a better one out there, and we have it now. And
Much
we
better.
have great help with new admin, and it's a wonderful thing.
It's really wonderful. It's really
Very
cool.
excited to see it grow. But I think all businesses have that, especially the first year. You're going to learn the seasons, when you have rushes, when you don't have rushes. Like different things come up throughout a year, no matter what kind of, if it's a restaurant or if it's a school. So I think a lot of businesses that first year and a half, you're learning the walk, and then you can kind of get that baseline stuff set up, and then you can start really growing.
I actually think if you're not going through hell your first year, you're not doing something big enough for you and your skill set, because you will not grow unless it's hell.
Yeah.
And it has to be mentally weighing on you, and you have to feel like you don't have the skills that you need to accomplish it, so that you go and get those skills and so that you grow. And like, I think leadership has been like the hardest thing for me to grow in, and to see myself as leader and to hold myself as one, to hold others responsible, but also to be the person that is responsible for everybody else's failures. Like those are my failures.
Right.
I take them on as myself, which is why sometimes, like, at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't always feel like a win, but the next morning it does, of course, because I weigh all of the positives that we're bringing into the world. But I'll take all of their failures. They're mine.
Even if you're a business owner, you don't get to shake that like innate human part of us that wants to beat ourselves up all the time. So like in your case, I've had to remind you many a times, like you have 80 students. Like
80?
No, at the time, saying like when you had,
I'm like, that's a low number.
Like as you grew, there was times when you had like one parent that was upset or something got screwed up with, like their billing or something, and you were kind of embarrassed and you started beating yourself up. And I'm like, yes, but there's 79 other students that are coming in every week without any issues.
Yeah.
And I had to like kind of, because we naturally want to beat ourselves up and call ourselves failures. So we'll focus in on that one bad case and ignore all the 99% of good cases that are good interactions.
We say those feelings are bad, but really what has it done? It has made me better, and it has made me care about the outlier cases. And serving the masses is great, but if you pay attention to the people that are underserved, that's even like, sometimes it's just, I want 100%.
I heard like on a podcast before, somebody was talking and they're like, I just hate that voice inside my head. It's always beating myself up and I just too hard on myself. And then like he kind of like stopped there. He's like, you realize that's what's made you so great.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you do that. Like, don't doubt any. We've talked about that before. Like, it's just a general thing of, like, we never. Terrible things could have happened in our lives, and terrible things happen in a lot of people's lives, but nobody would really trade who they've become for something else, you know? And if that's the case, you can't really be a victim of what's happened or anything like that because you're happy with who you are. A lot of people, even though
Very
you're not
happy.
a millionaire, you wouldn't trade spots with Elon Musk or a millionaire, really, just to have that money. You're like, no, I'm dedicated to this journey. I like this story. I'm the hero, goddammit, and I'm going to make it work.
I feel an exciting story.
I mean, he did it to the extreme, you know?
I feel like, yes, and we might be doing it on a different scale, but I do like my journey. I do, because the purpose, I'm really good with the purpose. Sometimes I struggle with being like, what's the need for money? I'll figure it out. Always figure it out. We can figure it out. But I think my purpose, if I don't have that, I know that I falter. So I do like that my unique purpose is my life's work, the culmination of everything, like with my upbringing and seeing, like, you know, being kind of a lost teenager. I focus a lot on coaching teens. I like that. Right. And I like that because I can see myself in every single person I help. I can see certain situations that I've been through and then help them through those as an adult. I also really like, I like that music's ever changing too. Yeah. And it's always going to challenge even the wisest and the smartest of us all. It challenges us.
Well, where you are makes so much sense with where you've been. It's like this super engaging, interactive, choose your own story journey that you're on. So it's like you would never want to hop off that timeline just to jump to somebody else's.
It'd be hard. I mean, even you think about it, like even if you jumped on a timeline of like a pop star, like how monotonous and boring would that be for?
Right.
It's like, yes, how amazing. You got the fame, but like you didn't get to learn all these other genres. You didn't get to like dig into anything more than what you had to do because you had to be so disciplined in the one thing that you were
it's like their journey
meant to do for the world.
Like their journey almost got hijacked because they're just like, they ended up being really good at one thing. And then someone was like, here's a bunch of money. And they're like, okay, I'll just do the one thing forever. And that's why the child stars end up in very bad places. Like not very good.
Yeah, I do feel for those child stars. I'm really thankful for a lot of my journey. I mean, it was so, there were so many points along the way that just were, why am I here? Why, God, do I have to do music? Because there were so many nights like, I'm so smart. Why don't I go to law school? Why don't I go and like figure something else out, administrative work, whatever. Little did I know, my brain is not meant for administrative work at all.
Right.
It would be absolutely terrible to see me in a 9-to-5. I would fail everyone, every single person. The skill set that is required for that, I do not possess. And I don't think that it's even in my best interest to try to possess that because I've tried for so many of my years of my life. I created the life that works for my unique skills. But I also am so grateful for so many weird steps along the way. Like I've been thinking a lot lately about like just even the real estate detour and how cool that was.
We got like
cool.
You jumped into like sales and cold calling and stuff like, for a minute. That's huge.
I want to go work for the number one. I'm not going to settle for less. I'm going straight to the top. I don't know why they let me in and gave me a phone. It was terrible. I was absolutely god awful. But did I almost pee my pants every single day out of fear until I figured out how to communicate with people? Yes, I did.
Right.
That's the same thing with like serving, like Patty in Chelsea. Like I couldn't talk to people, and she was such a caring mentor and manager that she taught me how to serve people. She taught me how to like, be kind. She taught me how to treat people properly. I mean, what the heck? What if I didn't have that?
We were talking about that in the episode with Chad. Like, this is why you can't give people advice and be like, you got to go do this, because you don't know where people's path leads. Sometimes it zigzags and branches off, but it still makes sense. Like, accumulates back into a steady, fast stream, towards a direction. But they might have to go off over here and learn these. And you don't know how these little skills and things you pick up end up feeding into that overarching, story arc of your life and where you're going to end up. So you have to follow your own intuition. You can't, and that's why you can't go into somebody else's life and be too forceful and say,
yeah,
what the hell are you doing that? Do this.
I didn't have a lot of people doing that. Even my parents were really supportive with whatever I wanted to do. Sometimes that was a hard thing, because I sometimes would have liked someone just to tell me, hey, you got to do this, because I can achieve anything if I have a direction.
Yeah.
But literally I wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten here. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm not done yet, because as we talked about over dinner, I have a 10-year plan. So I have to make it to the House of Representatives. And that's going to be a really big challenge after given my past.
And I said, yeah, let's go on the podcast and talk
Give
about the
it my
idea
pass.
that you came up with today.
Yeah, given my past, especially with all the other ideas and plans that I have that might derail that. It might be harder to win over the constituents, but...
Leave your views in the comments. Would you vote for Marla for your county representative to go to Lansing?
I won't do you wrong. I want to be for the people. I want to work for them. I want to be for them. Because that's when I'm most happy.
We already had off to a good start, because podcasts are the future for any kind of
This is terrifying,
politics.
especially when the camera angles are in your control. Like, no offense or anything. It's just, I know.
I gave you my spot.
I know.
You don't get to complain about.
Yeah, the lighting is better over here.
I don't understand how that works. I measured it to be the same on both, but
It's not the same.
you have it. You're the only one that would make me get out of my seat.
Yeah.
You have that power.
Happy wife, happy life.
Speaking of that, what's it like being married to Mike Lamatola?
Okay. Well, I don't think most women could. I'm rare myself, so I appreciate a lot of what you give me. It's amazing. You give constant, unconditional love.
Aw. Continue. We're off to a good start.
I like your independence. I don't have to.
We have similar, I don't know, maybe Asperger's or something. So we have a similar.
For the record, I'm undiagnosed Asperger's. I don't have Asperger's because I communicate quite well, but I might be masking. But I also have been diagnosed with ADHD, so maybe that's also something. But when I need you, you're always there, and when you need me, I'm always here.
Right.
But if we need to explore this world and explore what's inside our own individual worlds, we have the liberty to do that in this relationship. I think that's what's most important.
I think it definitely is. I don't think this podcast studio would be built if I wasn't with someone that could be independent and be like, yeah, go work. Or even you're excited about everything I do. You're excited about it. You're like, go do it. You slap me on the ass and I go off and
I don't slap you on the ass nearly as much as I should.
That's my analogy of it. Like you just go get it, baby. And then and I'll be over here hanging out. I'm excited about my shit too, my stuff too. Oh.
I like that.
I do beep
your
out
stuff,
cuss words,
right?
myself,
No cussing.
I
might have students that are watching.
I realize that your parents are definitely going to watch this. They'd be curious.
Really?
To hear what you have
they
to say.
probably will. Yeah.
Especially your
watching.
dad. He goes to every show.
Oh, my dad.
He's your biggest fan. I think I'm your second biggest.
Are you going to have my dad on the podcast?
I would like to.
That'd be he does get really philosophical and deep.
And also he'll have the headphones.
Because
sometimes when we talk, we have it's hard to, there's a
Hearing
bunch
aids,
of stuff going on. And
yeah.
I'm very quiet too. So.
Oh my goodness.
I think we have a great conversation on the podcast. I definitely plan on. I want to have my dad on. I want to have your dad too.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. But speaking back on what's it like to be married to you, I knew that it was going to be a good marriage when you were dealing with me at my most chaotic, crazy schedules. Like back when I was starting the business and when I was singing a lot and like just busy. How did we locked it down during busy
probably because
seasons?
I mean, I think both of us have been past relationships have been more codependent kind of thing, you know. So it's like if you left too much, you know, whoever you're with probably got upset or like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just, you know, they want to speak on what you should be doing, and I'm just like, okay, I have more time to myself. It's fine.
Thank you.
You know? and
it's going to help us both achieve everything we want to.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so much that you also are offering to the world right now with digital marketing and helping local businesses. Like, I'm constantly surprised. I'm like, oh my gosh, because it does make a huge difference. And I know that kind of like you are fed by the same thing I'm fed by, which is empowering other people and giving them tools and giving them ways to liberate themselves. And that is exactly how we're geared. We're geared the same, but we're working in different mediums. Mm-hmm. And so like, I think maybe that's also a really big reason why I sympathize with you and why we're able to be independent in that way.
Yeah, because we could just be tangled up and then when you get tangled up like that, then you probably resent each other.
We'd be miserable.
You're holding me back. You're holding me like.
Yeah, because I'm looking at you to grow.
I used to create, but we both look at each other now, and it's like I feel like we both feel like we're both creating and doing more than we've ever have together, which is a surprising thing for a relationship.
We're just getting started.
Just
wait till my rap album comes out.
Marla said that she's going to call out.
Oh, no, don't tell her. Don't do it yet.
Okay.
Don't do it because then like it looks bad. I feel like when you got to drop, what do you call it? You call it a drop of what a
track
track something.
Oh, disc track?
Yeah, I need to do a disc track. And if you
let's just say that there's a rapper that Marla thinks she can take on.
There is a rapper battle. I know I could take on better.
Even though she's like one of the best female singers in the state.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Now. She's like, you know what? I know the best. Let's go for rap.
I don't want to sing anymore. I want to rap. And my roommates in grad school would actually understand this because I would have rappers come to our apartment, 311 back in Illinois. Because I was broke. I had to teach literally anyone. I was like, I have rhythm. Yes, I can help you. I know what articulation and beats and I knew elements, right, of rap. And so I thought I could help. And actually, I feel like I did. I don't think I did them a disservice. I told them what I really believed would make their raps better. And I think they would. But so I coached rapping. And my roommates in grad school, they will tell you that they would hear sometimes. I had one rap student that the only time they had free was at 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings. So they would come in at 8 a.m. They're sleeping and they'd hear, me say, okay, let's move on to our repertoire. So, Wiz Khalifa today? And we're like classically trained musicians. We're working on our Bach
You're trying
cantatas.
to you're sharing the secrets that you're learning in like a serious school with like local rappers.
I didn't give that up until like maybe like this year. Actually, I've been teaching rappers ever since.
I mean, I've always been told to rap because I mean, when I was younger, like I produced an album for my buddy Bargerstock.
Yes.
I had recordings of like me and like my buddy Kyle rapping on a track. So I would just like make beats and be like, do you want to rap? And then I was just recording and being creative. And
it's just fun to make things. Like even when you and I did our little you didn't even know. I think you were playing beats over there.
I was playing like lo-fi music.
You were making
like relaxing
lo-fi
music.
beats and I was just like riffing on it. And I just kept going and I kept singing about you until you realized I was singing about you. And you were like, whoa.
And then we were going back and forth. We were actually making some like good hooks.
It felt like R.
catchy
Kelly
hooks.
and Ashanti, or not R. Kelly. Who is that guy? LL Cool. No, who was the guy that's Nelly and Ashanti? Weren't they did those?
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of rapping.
That was cute. That was really cute.
I used to, even now, me and Evan do it. When me and my buddies used to do it, we used to put like the TV on mute and then just make up our own
I love
stuff.
that.
And that helps you like kind of flow and be creative. But
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Like when you start, I do better if somebody throws me topics or if I just pick out the topic and dive in my head, you know.
Yeah, we got to do that tonight.
Improving
After this.
music. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love
let's do that after this.
I always love it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like so funny because like you're the only kind of person that we could be like, okay, let's take out the guitar and do some Christian rock tunes. And then like, okay, let's do some rap. Okay, now can we do some rock?
I love it all.
I like it all too.
Yeah.
And you don't get bored if I send you, or if I like take you to something classical, or if I show you something classical too.
Yeah.
You're very intrigued by that. What next thing we have to do is go to an opera together. We haven't done that yet.
I'd love that.
I know you would. Because you have a really interesting palette that you're always looking to expand, which is why I love you. And same with me. Life would be so boring with one genre.
Yeah. I mean, that's why when I was in high school, I didn't pick like one style. I was like, okay, I'll be a preppy kid. You know, like it was just like a mix of all of them. And it, you know, I mean, even today, I feel like it is like, sure, I might lean a little bit more outdoorsy looking. I wear flannels, but like I couldn't just be like, I'm just going to be that.
No, it's
And
hard for
sometimes
me,
it feels like
actually.
that would be easier to do that. Like I wish, and I think we talked about that before.
Oh, so
like I
easy.
wish I could just go all in on, you know, whether it's one faith or it's one style or it's one this. Like I wish I could just do that and pick who I am out of a catalog and be like, okay, these clothes, this belief, that. It's like that would give me so much clarity. But instead, I'm in this spot of like bouncing around and mixing ideas, and it's always just like fireworks and explosions in my freaking head. And
Hey, that's me.
sometimes you get lost, and
We're lost.
You know,
You and I are lost together, though, at least.
yeah.
We're both
When we get too
There's
lost,
a lot.
when we get too lost, we just clean together and be like, "It's okay, it's all right. Just hold on to me."
I
It's
like
fine."
when we do that, too. That's like a nice come down.
We have had those moments too.
There's a lot going on. It's spinning, babe. Hold me down.
Just hold me. We'll always be here. It's fine. It's
I
like
wouldn't
putting
trade it.
your foot
I
on the
still
ground when
wouldn't
you're,
trade
like,
it.
getting dizzy or something, or like when you're younger and you got like drunk or something, you put your foot on the ground, like feel some kind of stability. Okay, it's fine. That's the ground. Like as long as we have that.
That's
that little
you for
anchor.
me. Yeah, that's you for me.
Aw,
I know that's what I am for you, too.
love you.
I love you, too.
So what else about Marla? So you're probably gonna win another award
All right,
because
so
there's
here's
no
the thing, everybody.
competition.
Yeah. I was nominated for an award, but there's only me in the category. So this is not how I wanted to win.
It's only you in two categories technically. But
They like
merged them.
combined two categories.
Nobody
'cause
likes
No
theater.
one likes theater and no one likes classical music. Also, on that classical track, I just want to make a public announcement right now. One of the teachers at my school listened to that track, and this is how I know I'm hiring right. She's like,
Ex-student, right?
Yeah, I trained her for a bit. Yeah. And she got into college, which was a great feat. I was like so happy for her because when you have someone come in and they're like, I have a full ride at U of M. Like, what do? I want to devote myself to like an art form that I love. And she's an incredible singer. I was like, all right, well, you only have one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow this opportunity. And she did it. My God, she did it. That was a very exciting year. There was a lot of students that were going for it. And I do really feel so called to help the next generation of music educators, because if we don't do that, then all the things we were given dies, and then they're not going to be given to the next generation. That's sad. So
But she ended up calling you out on your song, didn't she?
Yeah, this is how I know I hired right. Her French is. At one point, maybe my French was better than hers, but it's been a long time since I've been in school, which is why I had a crisis the other day, and I said maybe I should get a DMA someday. I don't know. Maybe Dr. Marla is. There might be a season for that, but now my head is on this House of Representative thing. I don't know. Oh, but yeah. So she watched it. She was like, "Oh, Marla's saying that word wrong." She was subbing for me. Told one of my students. Now my student won't let me let it down. And I think it's kind of funny. My student will also be better than me someday too.
Yeah.
Which is the point. Leave them further than you got.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm very proud of them. Yeah.
I feel like you've gotten more kids in the college, like those. I feel like that is like your main, like where your influence is the strongest, you know,
Yeah.
because that's also like the key moment in their like career when they decide, I want to go to school for music.
Yeah.
Like working with you seems to be like the best like option for them, because you've gotten so many kids into great colleges just because you understand the process. Right?
Yeah, there's a couple of really good coaches. I feel like all of our success rates are really high actually in the area. But honestly, I love that work. I love college preparation work because it's at the highest level, and the person coming, once they establish trust with me, really soak up everything as a sponge, because they already set their sights on what they want to do, and they know that it's the next step that they have to do. Mm-hmm. It's not just someone coming in saying, teach me what you know. Okay, maybe I'll use it someday,
mm-hmm.
you know?
Like they're hungry and you feel like you can really crack the whip because you like to crack
once they
the whip.
We
know this, right? I mean, can we say this? We can say this in public. Right?
I am coach energy for sure. I feel like when I teach, I am coach energy. And that is after that they know that I have their best interests in mind at any time. I am always there for them, and I will adjust my instruction as needed, always. Because not everyone needs a cracked whip. Some people need just a cheerleader. Mm-hmm. And it's my job to assess what someone needs most. And like cracking the whip, it's not, we don't crack whips really.
I can speak from experience that I much prefer the cheerleader Marla over the whip.
Well, I mean, if it was like me, right? Like I'm defiant. Like if I had a coach that was cracking the whip at me, I would find the faults in them rather than working on the things that they told me to work on. Right. I would find like I know this about my personality. I know this about other people's personality. A lot of my studio is neurodivergent too. So I know from personal experience how to interact with them in a way that's going to be beneficial and help them get to what their goals are. Mm-hmm. So cracking the whip is it's so funny, but I don't really crack a whip.
You've had so many different students that I think you intuitively navigate things at this point.
Everyone's so different.
Yeah.
Everyone's so different.
But you can relate somebody, like every student you have at this point, you can probably relate them to 2 or 3 other students and kind of know where to go with them to a certain extent.
Yet I don't, because I think my own intuition is most important anytime I'm helping someone.
That's what I'm saying. Intuition comes from experience. Like
sometimes it comes from like you don't see too many surprises, right? Like somebody comes in and you're just like, whoa, who is this? Is like an alien person. Like I've never seen this before. No, I do. I do find yes.
Oh.
Because maybe I met them in the past and I didn't know how to really help. But I do meet every day. There's someone different and they have some sort of interaction that's different. I do. Every day is a learning day. Every single day.
I know with voice, because I mean you've coached me, and I've also been trying to sing for many years, and it is a crazy psychological thing to open your voice up. Like you say, it has to come from the pelvis up, and like it's like
Did I tell you that?
You have to allow it to like
anatomically
to free
incorrect.
flow, and so much of your insecurities are like holding your voice at certain points. And I mean, I think I understand some of the fundamental principles that you teach, and it's like completely resonates with me and my experience of grabbing my guitar and trying to sing for many years. Is it just getting yourself out of the way so that your instrument can do what it wants to do.
I know.
You know, so much is held up from doubt and from fears and ego and different things, and you know,
if we could
it's a whole journey. It's not just developing some technique. It's like an awakening of you know what I'm saying, of awareness of who you are, and you know, it's deeper than just what people think.
I like your interpretation of that, and that's someplace that I usually don't go when I am speaking to high school or younger students. But there's so many there's so many ways to achieve your perfect voice use through spiritual means.
Yeah. You can work the muscles, right? Like you can do the reps.
It's anatomical. You can figure out how to use your body like an athlete, but sometimes the mechanics really still don't work until you figure out mentally what's going on. It's psychological, but also it is spiritual because we are vessels of sound and we are vessels of emotion, and we need to move that emotion. And yeah.
Have you ever tried to carry a room, like say you're singing or you're playing acoustic and you're singing? You have to have the energy. You have to reflect the energy of the song and push that energy out into the room in order to keep the room following you. You know, you're the vibe creator. If your energy starts to sink or fall, you lost your audience. You know,
I almost feel like it's like awareness too. Like you just you have to be aware of what's going on in the ecosystem, so you know your part, because a lot of people can try to keep their vibe really high or like try to keep feeling good, and they don't understand that they've lost an affect. They're not with the other people in the room anymore. It's actually like, for me, I feel like it is like, it's like, yeah, you have to keep your energy sort of, but the energy is relative to the entire ecosystem. And that is, that's the next level.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that when your ego's along for the ride either, because your ego is going to be too busy.
Well, some of the best people that like carry a room, whether it's a DJ or a singer, songwriter,
they're thinking about everybody else. They really are including everybody in that
but
experience.
They're also getting lost in their own performance and like hitting, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to get lost in it and really get to that. Because we've all felt that, where you, as a musician, where you'll be alone and you're playing and singing and you're just like, oh, like that felt really good. It felt like I wasn't like really enjoying it, and I was just carried away by the music. So that's a good sign to probably carry other people away, you know? And then you go and you play and you get in your head, or you have that, you're looking at the audience and you're getting out of your head. That's what I do a lot.
That's you.
Sure.
I feel almost like sometimes when I'm alone, I feel like I'm with everybody. It's really a weird concept, and I don't even know how to articulate it. And you could only get me on this podcast if I hadn't already, I had a couple drinks, so I feel loose enough to speak of some woo things. But when I'm with myself singing my absolute best, I feel tuned into everything.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you say like, oh, you create the world, you create, and then everybody comes to you. And like, that's an easy concept to tell people so that they can start to attract. But it's almost like, no, like if you were like completely shut off and feeling a good vibe, like you're not cool. Yeah. Like no one's going to see you. No one's going to feel you.
Right. Well, what you're saying is like you're getting carried away, just like a flow state. You know, you're seeing, you're with playing, others. Yeah, you're with the collective.
You're with everything.
At that point, you're like some of the best music I've ever been played has been by myself. But like you said, it still feels like a connection. Like I'm just in a flow state. It's flowing naturally. The leads or whatever I'm doing is just like, whoa, this is gold. You know, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, and if I did that in front of people, they'd be like entertained by it, you know, like you're connected to it. It's when you get into a situation, or you get in your head when you're alone, or if you're in a crowd, that you can get pulled out of that.
It's hard.
That kind of like flow state of you and the music and just the tone and the energy.
It's hard. I still choke all the time if I try to sing classical if I try to sing classical music in front of a public. Or even in a recording studio, I'm like, why is this sucking? Mm-hmm. It's just years and years of like mental abuse of myself. Mm-hmm. I haven't tapped into it yet.
That voice is always in there, ready to come out and tell you how much of a piece of crap you are, like how bad you're doing. It's always in there.
It's always in there. So yeah, that's something we're all working through. Especially my students are all working through too.
I can't remember what book it was I read, but they're just like, imagine if you had a person in your life that talked to you the way that you talk to yourself.
Oh,
in
yeah.
your head. You would never hang around with them. They would be an ex-friend. They would be an ex-friend from like 5-10 years ago that you would have abandoned long ago. But we just deal with
Yeah.
it with ourselves. You know, like as I get older, I don't have that voice so much, but it was bad. I mean, especially like, you know,
Oh,
like
yeah, you talk
Evan's age,
about-
like 12,
you
13,
said you would
14.
look in the
it
mirror
was
a lot.
when I was like, I want to say it was like worse for me, like 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there just analyzing my face and everything. And one confident kid in school, I'd just be like, oh my gosh, like what? But, you know, when you get older, you realize that the confident kids were just the dumb ones in a weird way.
Follow them to nowhere.
Yeah. You don't want to follow them. They don't end up in a
Yeah.
good place. But when you're younger, you're just like, I must be broken because they seem happy, you know, but they're just happy because they're not, you know.
I wasn't too concerned about myself either in like young years. But the only time I would like even think about myself was, why doesn't that person like me? I had poor social skills. Growing up, I had very poor social skills. It was.
I did too.
I didn't really care though too much either, and that was a problem too. So I learned how to work well with others, and I learned how to serve others, and those were my growing pains, probably.
The good thing is that I was interesting enough to enjoy my own company. So I spent a lot of time alone, making songs.
Baby, same.
Studying
That's
things,
why I'm
doing
so happy
things.
alone.
Yeah.
I found I'm
like,
so
they don't
happy.
like me. They don't listen to me. Because you know, I was just like, you have poor social skills. I was like, I didn't talk loud enough.
I'm like, I think I'm
Nobody
okay.
seemed to want to hear what I had to say because I'm like low voiced, you know, like. But I'm just like, God damn, I'm fucking interested. And I love my time by myself, you know?
Yeah, because we made these worlds inside us that are so interesting.
Right.
I know.
So
You're looking at your mirror, but female form.
And that's why we work out. Mm-hmm. That's why you're like, yeah, go ahead, babe. Go out in the garage.
Please.
Podcast. Great. Wonderful. Yeah, do it.
Yay, more time for me to think.
So, what?
Oh, do you want to talk about what I did today all day? Which is why I'm in a weird mood.
Yeah, we can talk about that now, right? Because I mean,
Yeah, I'm allowed to talk about it.
Marla had jury duty today.
Yes.
So she showed up and she got on the jury and she called me so giddy and like excited. She's like, I can't talk about it yet. It's not over. And she kept to it too. She followed the rules. She would not tell me anything about it. And but she was just like so excited. And I was just picturing Marla like she's watching a reality show right now, like a live reality show.
It was
and
right
she
there
was
in front of
loving
me.
it. So yeah, tell us about this case. Can you talk like how
It
in
was
detail
definitely
can we
like a
go?
white collar case. It was so cool. And I like even
As a golfer, it's even more interesting.
I even asked I asked like the jury wrangler, I was like, do these happen like every day? This is so crazy. And he's like, oh, no. This is the first one of the year. And I was like, oh. So it was a case that there was an assault on a golf course where there was a 6-year-old man and his son-in-law, and then like another guy that they brought along, like a friend of the son. And the friend of the son and the dad were in a golf cart together, and there was an altercation. But literally, it was so crazy. Every moment was amazing. The judge was better than Judge Judy. This judge, Mike, you have to
So
get him
he's
on
a
a
Jackson
podcast.
judge. Do you remember his name?
Get Judge
Starts with a G.
GESCK something.
Is
like
Polish?
what?
SKY?
Polish something. I
SKY
think.
at the end?
No,
Starts with a G, ends
no.
with
It's not a
SKY?
sky. No, it's not a ski at the end. It's like a Gasek or something. He was so good. He was an educator. He taught us what everything was so well, and he
how to make your
opened our
judgment.
minds on how to judge.
Right.
And I thought that was so beautiful. It was like, what are my biases? Oh my gosh, this is what I'm thinking about these people.
Because you can look at somebody's
was-
face and you're like, I just don't like that guy. But that's not what the court of
It was
law,
crazy.
like the standards that are set. Like we're talking about it because you said that the 60-year-old, the older guy, was kind of poking at the younger guy.
Yeah.
And then eventually the younger guy shoved the older guy, and the older guy is the one who brought him to court to sue him for damages or whatever.
Oh,
And-
sort of. It's really
But
complicated.
you were saying how you could tell that the older guy was kind of an asshole, but it's like you don't get to, as a jury, say, this guy looks nicer than this guy.
I don't even know. Is this legal? I think it is. I don't know. Is this legal?
I think
for
it's
you
fine.
to just like tell everyone what I actually thought.
But I think it's interesting because I've had calls or got the mail about jury duty, but I never got to do it.
It was so
But
cool
it
they
makes
chose
so
me.
much sense, like that the judge would kind of remind you guys that like you don't get to kind of, because we do that in reality shows and anything. Like I'm gonna root for this person. They seem
Yeah.
gentle and nice. You don't get to do that
Well-
when you're a juror. You have to look at the law and the standards and was it this?
It was really cool because what he was doing was after the prosecutor and the defense attorney were speaking, he would remind us of certain things because their job is to portray their clients in a certain way, to portray the other client in a certain way. Like they're crafting this story so that we choose a side. And unfortunately for like it was amazing. It was really cool. And I never thought I'd stretch my mind so much today. I was really sad I had to cancel lessons.
Right.
Really, really sad, especially yesterday when I had the stomach bug. It's been a really crazy week. I mean, even just last weekend, coming back from like a competition in Grand Rapids, like it's been a like a nonstop week. I even missed a hair appointment today
But it seemed
because
like
of
you
jury
were
duty.
thoroughly entertained today. Would you say that?
I loved it. I wish I could be a professional
You're gonna start watching
juror.
court TV now.
No, I'm gonna go I'm just gonna go pass my LSATs or whatever. That is like a logical next step for me. We need another.
I mean, you
switch
passed
up here.
you passed your real estate license. I mean,
Yeah, that was.
get your lawyer license. You can it's a test.
I don't think the real estate license is as difficult.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I
about
don't think
like,
that's hard.
You're talking about like going for your doctorate and like, do you really need that? And like how you don't, being creative. It's like it sucks sometimes. I have to go to doing the schooling thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm studying for like my part 107 for drones, and it's like
Yeah.
I haven't had to do like memorize this type studying in a long time.
It sucks.
It
sucks so
sucks
bad.
to have
And
to, like,
I'm glad that one of my teaching friends, she knows who she is. She's amazing. She has a great studio. She inspires so many people. And I think it's funny, like she mentioned a pedagogy program, or no, she didn't. She mentioned a person, a pedagogue, who has sort of like this running program. But I just made an impulse purchase, and I said, I'm buying the course. Let's do this. You want to educate yourself? Don't think you have to go back to school. Let's take a course so that we can continue on with the life that we have right now, and still, so far, it's a refresher course, and I hope I think it's gonna give me extra tools. We just haven't gotten to the Tuesday's the first like in-person application call, so that's really exciting, and I'm excited to keep expanding my knowledge on voice use. But it's like funny because like the last couple of years I expanded my knowledge on business. And I am a sponge, and so I listen to all of the best business podcasters. I read the best business books. I try to apply some of what I learn, and that has been really crazy. And I kind of neglected learning more about the voice because it is ever growing, and the voice science is always changing, and discoveries I'm making are always, it's always new. It's always changing.
Difference. Like one seems more applicable than the other, but there's two different options. One is like what you did with business, or what you're doing with voice now, where it's like, I have some holes here, so let me watch some YouTube videos. Let me take this course, and you kind of take notes like, oh wow, that's interesting. Write it down or lock it in, whatever. And now it's expanding your knowledge. But when there's that, and then academia, and like what I'm doing with like the FAA certification thing, that's like, nope, you have to memorize, pass the test, A, B, C, or D. Don't get more than 10.
I'm a good arguer though, so I kind of am okay with academia when I'm motivated. But I gotta have an enemy. I gotta have something to fight. Then
Right.
I am an academic. Otherwise, good luck with me.
Do you feel like as you get
All my
older
teachers
that
gave me
you pull
extensions.
away? Because like when you're younger, you're like, oh, this is the path. I'll go to college. I'll memorize things and pass tests, and I'll do this, and I'll and you'll do that grind. But when you get older, you're like, okay, I'm already kind of established. Now I just want to fill in my knowledge, and you want to do more of that kind of like read a book, get some insights, take a course, get some insights, YouTube.
No, I'm not that way. I really still want the accolades.
You want that doctor.
I want to be Dr. Marla Moore someday, probably.
Or
I want
representative.
that.
I don't know. There's so
Or
many things.
representative. I could be a
Representative Dr.
representative or a
Marla.
doctor. It's hard because I have to like. There's a lot that goes into either one of
Representative
those.
Dr. Marla Moore sounds way better than just representative. You know.
I know. I feel like yeah. With academia though, like I do think it's cool because it stretches you in so many different ways, and it also supplies you with such a great new network of people that also stretch your beliefs. No one ever talks about that, but it's like it's an ecosystem of colleagues
I
that
think that's
will
a big thing.
will absolutely
Like-minded.
stretch you.
Like-minded people collecting.
Well, not
at
even
the same
like-minded.
age.
Sometimes they are not like-minded,
Right.
and that makes you better too. And I like that too. And I like structure. Even though I'm an unstructured person, I definitely appreciate the structure. I do my very best to live within the structures. But yeah, I mean, who knows, Mike, what's going to happen? I'm sorry. I'm your wife and you're in for a ride. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, it's a coin flip for me too. I don't know.
But I do know that it's kind of crazy because like when we talk about learning, like what does ADHD Marla want most? Oh, she'd love to go get a doctorate, learn more about singing. What's my greatest impact in the world? Learning the business.
Yeah.
That will supply more lessons to more students, absolutely, in a safe environment and an easy way to access them. So, but you know, we also have to, where we're passionate, also we should be drawn towards our passions, and we should definitely fulfill them.
Yeah. I think what you're doing with the school is like immeasurable. You know?
It's crazy. Like when I say I don't know any of these happy faces, all I know is that they're happy. I mean it. I'm really happy when I see anyone smile. It's crazy. Everybody our goal and the mission really is for all of us is to leave them better than they came in. I think we're doing it.
Yeah.
Unless I have to, what do you say, crack the whip? Then it's not. So it hurts for a minute.
I think it's just like so cool that, I mean, like what I do with like businesses, I go in there and it almost feels like I'm kind of cleaning up a mess and organizing, making people's lives easier, whether it's automations or some AI tools and some things, or their website, or you know, to increase their their ROI or their workflow, making things easier, free up their time. Like I'm just kind of cleaning things up, but it's like a one-by-one basis. But you have this like conveyor belt of just people coming and going, whether it's instructors, you know, students or whatever, and it's an engine that's just running right now at like, and it's purring pretty good. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is, except we need someone else to be also invested in the growth. That's not me, and that's next step. I have ideas. I think when we get another manager, that's going to be great. I have a lot of ideas, and only some of them are achievable. My vision board is literally so pared down. I already know what I want to do in the next 5 years, and they're really scary. And actually, I don't even want to do them. Let's be honest. I don't want to do them. I'm called to do them, most of them. I will, if like you asked Marla, the flesh Marla, she would be like, oh no, I can't, I'm not good enough.
But if
I
not
don't
you,
want
then
to
who?
do
Is that
that.
the case?
It is, if not me, then who is going to do it? And it's a calling. It's literally calling from God. And if I know what happens if I don't answer, and it's not pleasant, and it's really scary.
Yeah.
Am I admitting this on a podcast? I'm drinking. But really, it really is bad if I don't answer the call. So
Right.
I really have to do it.
Well, it's probably things that you make
There's a
make you
big-
feel a little
there's
bit
big
uncomfortable, right? And like we talked about.
Extremely
and-
uncomfortable.
And I love that motto of like the obstacle is the way. Like if it's something that you're like, that seems like what I should be doing, but man, does that make me uncomfortable? That's what you should be doing. And that's kind of what you're always pulled. That's the journey.
Well, I mean,
You know,
that's literally God. It's like the energy flowing through you that is like is so foreign to your body that you're trying to somehow reject it, but you can't.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's going to be there for a little while.
And you can probably zig and zag and go different directions, but you're still the current's still pulling you towards that. You're
Yeah.
still going to end up there.
The next 3 years of my life
So you
are
might
going
as
to
well
be
go head first into it.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable right now. There's gonna be a lot. Just warning you, there's gonna be like quite a few more years of discomfort.
Right.
It's not my fault. It's like I'll learn the comfort through certain things. There'll be moments of reprieve, but yeah.
I always think about
It's
like a
supposed to be
moment
uncomfortable.
where there's like, whether it's the growth of the a combination of the growth of the academy, the growth of Michigan Media House, where we get to the point where there's like so much kind of passive income where now we have more force because we talked about this before about like when you start a business, like you either are going to grind to grow the business, or you can use leverage, or you can use hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have leverage in the form of money to hire people and to take things over and be then you have to grind. And it's like, I want us to get to that point where we have more leverage. So it's not such a suck on our time and our lives to bring great things into the world, that we can just find people that are passionate and be like, I want to give you autonomy. I want to give you autonomy over this. I want to partner with you. Here's some resources, some leverage, and I'll check in with you from time to time. Like,
I'm always keeping my eyes open for those people, but yeah, my big struggle is that I really like doing like the work. I like coaching a lot.
right.
I don't think I'll ever give it up. I'll always have a certain small studio forever. Always. Maybe it's always going to be large. I don't know. Maybe I leverage. I'm figuring out how to leverage my time so that I can actually do more of that, which is so funny because most people leverage their time so they can do less. Have like, yeah, you handle all of this stuff, so now I can do more of that. But I think that's okay in this season because I do get such a great, fulfilling feeling knowing that, like I said, people are left better than they were when they came in.
I think you'll always keep teaching too, because there's so many days
love
that we talk and you're like, your energy will be like in this place when you first like wake up or whatever, you'll talk to me and be like, I just don't, I don't really want to, like you even say, I don't really want to do these lessons.
Yeah,
I'm blah, blah, blah,
I'm
blah.
tired
And then,
usually when I
I
think
talk
about
to you
it.
after 2 or 3 lessons and your energy has 180'd and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, this person did so good. This person did that. Oh, they're coming out of their bubble. They finally are listening to me. But, like you come in with so much like
Finally listening to me.
No, but I say like
Do I
you
say
come
that?
back with so much more energy after lessons. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't even take it serious now when you complain and you have lessons because after it just you get.
I feel
fueled,
accomplished
you know?
with my work.
Yeah.
I feel because I know, again, based on the satisfaction and based on results, that I did something that helped.
Yeah.
I can't every single lesson, every single hour or half hour, 45 minutes, it feels good at the end. And that's how I became a better coach, is that I have to feel good at the end. I have to feel good about what I'm doing. I have to, otherwise I can't do this anymore. And I do. I feel very good after every single coaching.
I get that pull too, because it's like, if you think about how fulfilled like teachers are, right? They have a whole classroom of kids, but they're like, they feel like what they're, good teachers, they're passionate about it. They know what they're doing is important. And then you have like, but you're getting that one-on-one time with like one person and you're
it's
seeing their
special.
growth,
That's
And then,
special.
so it's like you get that nurturing thing that like, or even the satisfaction that like a parent would get, whatever, but then it's like, then they just go off. And then when they show up, they're business again. And then it's like back to,
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. I have I think there's quite a few students that I'm just, I still stay in touch with a lot of them, but
they'll always
it's
pop
cool.
up throughout your life and be like,
yeah,
remember you,
They pop in and out and they always say, they always like say, hey, Marla, this is what I'm doing now. And I'm so proud. There's some like legacy students that like are music educators now. And I love that so much. When I was younger, I used to tell everybody, because I was at a certain point in my life too, where it didn't really make sense financially, like what I did, what choices I made by being a music major, right? It didn't pan out for me. I knew I wasn't really fit for public school teaching choir either. So, I mean, I think I could have done that, but I didn't get the degree anyway. So it was like, oh, am I going to go back and get a degree for that? No. So there were so many years of discomfort with my life choices that those years were the years where I really told students, you shouldn't pursue music for a career. What are you talking
It's
about?
hard.
Like, that's not even an option. Like, it's like so slim to none. But that was my own limited belief. And now it's like, why don't you just not encourage anyone? See who's like coming to you and saying that that's what they really want to do, and then encourage the hell out of them to finish it out.
Yeah.
And see that dream become a reality, because yes, you can become a teacher of music if you love it and you devote your entire life to it. Of course you can. Why can't you?
There are options. Like we talked about it before too, like how many people you went to school with that you seen didn't do anything with their music degrees, you know, and I've seen you
But
just in
they're
the short
also-
time we've been together. I think you've made money in every way possible with your music degree. You sing in bands.
I'm not smart enough to make
you-
money other ways, besides real estate or selling things. I could sell anything, but yeah, I wasn't smart enough to figure out a whole nother path. No, I mean
Right.
like some people they really can, but most of my students, like, it's limited beliefs. If they think that they can't, they totally can. And also the future will require them to, because humans will need more meaningful experiences. Humans will need to express themselves more than ever in the future, because I mean, even all these like 9-to-5 jobs, I'm sorry, but like I'm starting every single day that I hear AI is like taking over. I'm like, I feel better now.
Right.
I feel better that I can't do that, because actually, like, I don't need to. I just need to be smart enough to leverage everything that I have.
Yeah. Even sales and stuff that can be replaced by good marketing and AI chatbots and different things that just right place, right time.
Yeah.
It can be in more places than a salesperson.
So,
But we've talked about it too. Like, be prepared if you want to do something sexy in the world. You want to be a musician. You want to
work hard.
do this. Competition is hard.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to do it, and also the pay is crap because everybody
Sexy
wants to do it.
things don't pay.
It's hard. If
Sexy-
you want to be a photographer, you want to be a videographer, you want to be a musician. There's so many people who wants to do like these like more like I said, we said that before, like these like sexy, fun, exciting, exhilarating jobs that seem cool. Well, a lot of people want to do that, and you got to be prepared that the competition's steep. You know, you got to find your unique kind of angle into it.
It depends. Some people really don't. Some people really do settle for very low-paying jobs because they
To
don't.
be more satisfied too, right?
Those very low-paying jobs too, like the $50,000 jobs that they will take because they feel there's some sort of safety in that, because it pays for their health insurance or something. You could make that as a musician. You really have to grind, and you have to
that's
work.
like going right for an orchestra player.
You have
right?
to
It's like
work
50 grand.
hard. You have to work very hard. But they're still out there. And then also, why don't you make your own opportunities? There's endless nonprofits to be started still. Someone want to come start a nonprofit with me? Like, literally, I'll just be on the board. I really think we need, next step is music scholarships. So someone start that up with me. I'll just be on your board, please.
Yeah, I'd be a board member too. I'll do that.
Yeah. Like, there's so much to do.
I think that's
There's so much work to do.
Somewhere within the next 3 chapters for us is going to be getting involved. It seems like a natural thing, like especially if you find that level of success, like I was talking about earlier, where we're using more leverage and hustle, so we have more time. Naturally, what I've seen with really successful people locally is they get into, like Phil,
Oh, yeah.
you get into nonprofits
Yeah, he's amazing.
because you can have a good impact and do big things, and you have the network to fund that nonprofit, to get people to donate to it.
I'm really not like board friendly though. I don't think I work well on boards. I'm too opinionated. I don't work well with
Boards
others
are hard.
yet.
Yeah,
I need to not be such a freaking tyrant.
I'm learning it too. I feel like I'm a little too
I
aggressive
can't. You're
sometimes.
a tyrant. And I am too. We need to consider, well, today, if there's anything that taught me how to work well with others, it's being on the jury during deliberation when you're like talking to each other.
Right.
And you're like, why do you think like that? You can't,
Right.
You don't do that. And if you want to persuade someone towards your way of thinking, the last thing you do is, what? Why are you thinking like that?
Yeah.
No. First, you sympathize with the things that you do sympathize with.
There probably are like good boards, bad boards. Like, like some boards just a lot of people just
I don't know.
trying to be the ones
The
to
boards
point
are
out
messed
problems
up.
constantly, and then some boards are probably like hyper productive. I don't know. I've only have one experience with like one or two boards, so
In my who knows? Who knows? I feel like life is breathed into boards and life leaves
they are
boards.
important. Like Robert's
Boards are
rules of
Robert's,
order.
I know
and
you
stuff
and
like
your
that.
like fancy rules of order.
But I understand why they're there and why they
Yeah.
are like a good foundation for like why our society even functions. That and the legal system and like you today, like jury or peers.
Yeah.
That's the
I
checks and
also-
balances and the boards and that order is what makes it all work. You can't just burn it all down. Which,
I also
like, some people think
see-
you could do.
No, I think it's necessary. It takes a lot of different people, but I also see the necessity in like really crazy times to move really fast and break things like Zuckerberg or Musk. And I'm gonna get a lot of flack from the social media people, but for saying that, because I know like a lot of my students are like, Elon Musk is the worst, but that man has created so much by sheer like crazy force leadership.
Right. Well,
And everybody,
yeah,
but-
he doesn't start a lot of these companies, but he comes in and he takes them through the finish line and leads them. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't become the richest
doesn't
man in the
start-
world, And this is going to be really controversial. And I said this before about like Trump is like he's always just put the right people in charge, like and he sold his name, like somehow he made it work and he is successful. You can't take it away,
Yeah.
But it's
I feel like that's me right now. I'm always hunting for the right people.
I feel
I will
like
sell my name.
I'm in a spot right now where it's like there's like 3 or 4 people around me right now that I know have potential and would be willing to work with me and collaborate with me, and I'm just like sleeping on it. I'm not moving on it when I should be.
Are you nervous?
I don't know if I'm nervous about it. It's just, yeah, I'm in the transition phase right now. Like I've took on about as much work as I can do by myself. And I'm realizing that I'm trying to wrap up what I have going on, but I definitely now I'm in team building mode after that,
Do you think that their lives would benefit from working with you?
Yeah.
Well, then,
But it's more like I have to shift. I have to get to that phase. I have to knock out what I'm doing right now and then get to like putting the teams in charge and then
close.
being more offhand, but guiding the teams and the people that are making it all happen, kind of thing. It's I'm coming into that era.
I felt that last year. I was like, I don't even know how to delegate because I don't know what to delegate.
Right. SOPs. What's SOPs?
Oh, thank God. I know.
I kind of had a
Thank God for
sense
these
of it, and I started
SOPs.
some of these things, but when we hired Crystal, it was just like she took it to the next level. She knew exactly what was going on.
She
Yeah.
already, I mean, her experience really helped a lot.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I really still need to do that I'm kind of sleeping on too. So maybe we can get through these things and get them done.
Yeah. That's what's going to get us to that phase, like I was saying, where we're using more leverage and time to make things happen. And then the amount of things that we can make happen just grows exponentially from there. Because once you understand that pattern, once you have it, you have it. So once you have
Yeah.
that knowledge of like, I know how to build teams, I know how to make things happen. Now you're on the path of Elon Musk. Who knows? Maybe we're launching penis-shaped rockets into space someday.
I don't
you know?
ever need to do some of the things that he's doing. Basically, I see that like even when he's on boards, like people he's so sort of like charismatic or something that the boards just like bends the will. Like there doesn't seem to be so many struggles.
Well,
There's
he's like
probably
that.
a lot of
When
struggles
you're talking
that
about
we
me
don't
being
see,
abrasive or
but-
us being abrasive on a board, he is like that.
Yeah, I
He
know.
is that. And he
I think that's
with unapologetically
bend.
he is like that.
Like
where he's like he'll be at a meeting and there's like notes of him saying like that is stupid. Why would we do that? He just
Yeah.
calls people out like, and he's not even like the chair of the board or whatever.
I
You know,
know.
he's opinionated to a fault and unapologetically, and will just say. And so sometimes I feel like there is value in that. If you really think you understand, you should speak your mind and I don't know. There's a balance probably. There's sometimes you shouldn't do that, but.
Well, it's just like when in this phase right now, I don't think I'm well suited for boards because I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can't hold my tongue. I feel like I would just be, everything would be more, I get really annoyed by inefficiencies. Like I myself am inefficient, but if I have the right team, I can like get if I can get people to buy into my crazy ideas and then make it happen. But like the board, like it drives me crazy because there's always going to be people that think they're not like me. And that's what I'm trying to get past. I'm trying to see a lot of, and I've always been a gray thinker. And because I'm a gray thinker, I come to a conclusion after I go through all the mud. But it takes a long time for me to get through that mud. And I don't want to go through that mud again with you.
Right.
To show you why I
well boards
it.
are united behind like a common mission or goal, right? Because they're the board of, a board inside of a township or a city or for a nonprofit or whatever. And then they're supposed to be united behind a common thing, but then all of a sudden you see like members going off in this direction and that direction. And it's like, and then the board's not even choosing the direction. It's somebody else choosing the direction, because
that's like, yeah.
So it's just like, it just gets this chaotic, tangled mess, but we're all supposed to be united, and you don't get a unitedness from one meeting a month. It's like a weird thing, I've got some good advice from people locally too. Like Joe said one time, questions were coming up, and he's just like, these people can go and talk to these other people. And you have to have the communication outward. I mean, you're not supposed to, according to a lot of boards, really like do certain things outside of the meetings, because they're supposed to be, there's certain rules for when you're at the meetings. You're supposed to be logged and notes and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
but
everything should be
there's certain things that you can talk and start to develop ideas and then bring those out. And it's like, if you don't have that connection outside of the boards and stuff, I feel like it gets kind of lost too.
Is that legal? Are you allowed to talk outside the boards? Like, because I feel like that's not really great to get people's honest opinions, because people like to team build, especially like narcissistic people and personalities.
Yeah, there's rules against that for a lot of boards.
Well,
sure.
I mean, I like those rules, because come with your honest opinions and then we can hash it out there. Like, I like that even like the jury today, we weren't allowed to talk to each other until the deliberation, and then everyone can talk. I like it's kind of chaotic because everyone's like all over the place in their thinking, but everybody gets to like the conclusion finally. The most annoying thing was like, do you guys remember that like they have to prove that he's not innocent? Like, you're innocent until proven guilty. Like, that's number one. Like, do you really believe there's enough evidence to say that he's not guilty? Like, that for me, I'm like, literally your rule. Like, this is America.
Right. Yeah.
That everybody's like fighting, and I had to say like, so you're fighting, like, but you're not presenting like why he's not guilty. This is all like assumption that he is not guilty. Prove that he is.
Right.
This is so. That was the weirdest thing for me.
Is like what you were saying about that is like a lot of that stuff comes up on boards where it's like,
yeah, because
it's like everybody is so focused. Everybody's just playing this game of like gotcha about the rules. Like, the rules are this, rules are that. It's like we talk about the rules and talk about, let's check with the lawyer more than we talk about anything for the township, or for the downtown. You know what I'm saying? Like, the mission's lost. It's a new thing.
And that's what pisses me off.
I'm trying to be a quiet observer for the most part, but it is wild. And then, like you said, you're not supposed to talk outside, but then there's some people who walk that line and they are texting and meeting with everybody, but they know how to walk it and not say certain things.
Babe, they love it.
They know
they
the
love
rules.
it. That's why they're in the boards.
Yeah.
They're in the boards for controlling purposes.
It's a very political.
There's not enough people that don't want control in boards. Like, leadership is the absolute worst. Like, why would you want to be a leader? It's not that you like no one like great leaders. They didn't want to be. They just
like
have to be.
Because like if there's a nonprofit for like a music school in Ann Arbor, which I think there has been before.
There's been nonprofits, but they've. Because
you don't have the flexibility, you can't move with the same agility as one person. Like, so that's why you found success is like you're one person who's highly knowledgeable. You have my support. And now it's a
Yes.
success, like, and tomorrow you can pivot and do anything else you want.
Yeah, I
A
think I
board
like
wouldn't
that
be
too.
able to do that.
No, a board
you
wouldn't
know?
be able to. It'd be a lot of fighting. Yeah, and I just can't. That's also what gets me. It's just the mission driven thing. Like if we're not moving towards the mission to serve more people in a positive way, I will get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I don't know why I can't and I can say, hey, are we moving in the right direction or not? Like I can say these things, but man, underneath the emotions I feel for
Right.
people that are like just there to just have fun or
Right.
there to just
Yeah.
just to mess with me. I'm like, why are you messing
And
with
you
this?
see the same thing with big companies, and that's why when there's like a bad a recession or something, the smaller companies take over market from the big companies because the smaller companies can pivot and move fast.
Yeah, I love it.
If you're a big company or you're a board that meets once a month, how are you going to move fast enough to change in a recession? To adjust and do an about face or whatever you need to do to increase your longevity and last. You just can't do it.
Man, people are messy.
Small businesses and business owners, entrepreneurs, and stuff like that are very important.
Very important. And it's like a really thankless job. It is so terribly taxing and hard, but it's not hard as much if you're mission driven. So just keep your eye on the prize.
I want to see more
Just keep going.
I want to see a lot more local businesses pop up because you see these national companies, whether it's 1-800-JUNK or it's
Yeah.
True Green or whatever.
Well, you're doing that.
You see those companies pop up, and I understand why people go with them because it's like they have invested millions of dollars into their software, their systems. It's easy to use, easy to book, easy to do things. But now the technology is democratized. Anybody can have it. And that was they were filling the void because other local companies weren't doing it.
Yeah, right.
But now we're at a point where those tools are there. I can make those tools for a lot of these companies. So it's I want to see more people doing that and then realize, oh, this is a local company. Screw True Green. I'm going with Real Green Lawns,
That's what you've been doing lately.
Screw 1-800-JUNK, Williams Trash Management. Who else? Who
Yes.
else can I shout out right now? But you know what I'm saying? And that keeps your money local. Because they're going to buy ballet lessons for their daughter and they're going to pay for somebody to cut their lawn and they're going to do this. And that money stays here circulating versus going to, some other state where the owners and the board lives for a big national company.
I love that you're doing that for people. They'll take more and more of that, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's not that hard.
Right.
Honestly, they're not putting a ton of marketing dollars into the specific zip codes either, the areas. And they're also not niching down. They're not using SEO. They're really just a blanket company because they can be.
They don't have a face.
And they don't even have
an
a
owner.
face. And also I love that as time goes by, people get burned and they're sick of these random people coming out for quotes. I got people to come
they're
out
hiring kids to
for
work local.
window quotes and they don't even know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And so over time, people just get wise and that just takes time. And that's when people first learn the internet, people are just now learning what these stupid business owners
somebody
are
local
doing.
comes over and it's
They're selling
they're more
leads.
knowledgeable. And then also you're going to find out oh, my cousin went to school with you, they're going to have some kind of other connection or so-and-so. And then it's by the time you leave and do that one first job, you're not only their go-to person for that service, but you're the go-to person that they recommend to their friends.
And there can be that for anything. Even
there's so much
I'm surprised
opportunity
when
right
I
now.
still see cleaning company conglomerates. It's really? Wouldn't you
Why would you work
rather
for
know
Molly
Susie
Maid? You
that
can own an escort too.
use your own? Yeah. Now my thing with Ann Arbor Music Academy is a little bit different because we offer kind of a community vibe, and then we do handle the billing and everything. It's true, in certain part-time jobs you wouldn't want to be your own business owner. Side hustles are easy, but when it comes to the taxes and like the acquiring of the clients, it does take a little bit of time. So it's not for everybody.
Right.
So I do have to
But
like
even that's more local
make that
than
plug. Like
another music
it's
company.
more
like,
local for sure.
School of Rock or something. That's a national company that is kind of be foo for every area.
The School of Rock's, in their defense, they're franchise owned, so the owners are usually local. Okay. So I shouldn't be giving plugs for my competition, but
right. Okay.
But it's in their defense that they are local.
But you seem more local because your name says Ann Arbor Music Academy.
Because it's where I'm from. It's where I want to. It's where I want to see continue to flourish.
I'm going with you instead of Rock of Ages.
Oh my gosh,
School of Rock.
Rock of Ages.
Oh, Rock of Ages was a great record store in Wayne, Westland. You ever went there?
No.
We used to just drive there.
I should make a Westland rap about Westland, Michigan at the mall. I should do it in the mall.
Drive there and buy albums.
Have you been to that mall? I went to the mall a couple months ago.
We'd buy albums and knock chompas. What mall?
The Westland Mall. It's huge.
I haven't been there in a long time.
It's huge and completely empty. It's decimated.
If you go there, be sure to check out Slice of the 80s Pizza.
Are they in the mall?
They're right across the street.
Oh my gosh, that's over by that building that Morgan's office.
Buddy Adam owns that. I got to have him on the podcast too. That'd
the
be cool.
80s Pizza, yeah, that's cool.
People love that pizza out there.
But he has another franchise, right? He has another location.
I don't know if he got his second or not, but I think so.
It's not just in Westland; it's somewhere else too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he does like different colored.
Isn't it in like Ferndale maybe or no?
Butter and frosting. He was always obsessed. He's a huge Bon Jovi fan. I was telling you about.
We should get him to cater a party.
That'd be funny.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Can he make like mass pizzas for us?
And that was a weird path. He just delivered pizzas forever, like for like Hungry Howie's
that
and stuff.
That is how
and
it's done.
Was like, I think I could own a pizza place.
Yes,
I've worked at a pizza place for freaking 10 years and now he's got one.
We don't need Domino's, to be honest. Domino's is overrated. It's nasty. Actually, all of the franchise pizza places are nasty.
Jets?
Okay, they're doing pretty good, I guess. I like it.
I mean, if pizza's easy enough, I think it should be I'd rather support a local.
I would too.
A local one, but I like to bounce around. Like if I haven't had Hungry Howie's in a long time, I like to get a Hungry Howie's.
It's kind of complicated too when you think about franchises because it's like, okay, that's a good business that it's got going, but usually the franchise owners, like I started meeting a couple more franchise owners and I was like, man, I mean, like that's really their baby still. Like they're still local. Like we want to see those franchise do well.
Right. So
yeah.
I mean, let's shift really quick before we end this from the.
We're ending it. How long have we been talking? Are you giving me a shorty?
I get no. I'm not giving you a shorty. No, I have like a sense. I haven't been timing them, but they've all been around the same amount of time.
No way.
But I just wanted to shift from like business and stuff to talking about because I just want to share the wealth and share this with other couples. Our new thing that we picked up last summer, which is our EVs.
Oh, I love.
Where we just go to city. So you have a scooter. I have a one wheel.
Yeah, he thinks I'm lame
just been
too.
Going, like we went to Chicago. We rode a train to Chicago, get off in our backpacks, and we're just bopping around the city.
I'm really easy to travel with because I can carry everything I need in a backpack. I'm like a very efficient packer. So yeah, I mean, the backpack was a little heavy for the amount that we were riding. Like we rode from the train station in Chicago to I don't know what it's called.
Was it Lincoln?
Or no. Is it Grand
Lincoln
Central?
Street. The longest ride was out to,
it's called Grand
to Amanda's.
Yeah. And it's out to Lincoln Park. Wait, no, it's like past that.
Yeah.
So it's like past Lakeshore. Where does she
live? It was
a
long ride.
I don't know. It was crazy. And we even went out there to like, what was that brewery? We went from the train station to that brewery. What the heck? We went.
No, we didn't have our bags for that one, for that first ride because we were in the hotel in the city. But when you're on those things, like I'm saying, like, with our backpacks off after we went to the hotel and then we leave and we're like, all right, let's go cruise and bop. We just go like restaurant to restaurant, eating appetizers and having a drink, and then. We the first time we did it, we went down to the Lake Michigan cruise, that river walk or that lake, lakeside path.
The river walk, and then we went down like by the beach.
Yeah, but that's like the perfect speed to like explore an area, because if you're in a car, everything flies by really quick. You don't see nothing.
Yeah.
If you're walking, you're getting tired. You're like, my feet are tired after a couple miles. You're like, this is exhausting. You end up ending your vacation like sore, like feet sore. It sucks. But when you're on those like EVs, you're seeing so much, and you're like, you see a path or a road or a park, and you're like, yeah, screw it, let's go in there and explore. And then you're driving around a cemetery or something. Like, who knows where you're going to end up, because you just no energy.
It's honestly
it's all
so
coming
fun.
from the battery, you know.
I think it's kind of embarrassing though when my students see me on my scooter.
Yeah.
They're like, you're on your scooter and your husband's on his one wheel. And I'm like, yep, that's us. We're just moving around space.
I absolutely love
I
it.
really love it too. I think it's so fun.
I'm so ready for it.
I'm ready. I can't wait.
It's
Spring's
coming,
almost
like a month or two.
Yeah.
We're going to be cruising the next month.
And we'll be going to Chicago more too. I really love Chicago. I think it's a great city.
I used to hate this.
There's a lot
I
of
used to hate
opportunity there.
Chicago, like just because it was just like so dense. And I'm like, I want to be in the woods, backcountry. But when I went there with the EVs, I got to really like explore it, you know. And I understand more like just the denseness of it, which is still overwhelming, because there's always that thing in the back of my head that's just like, this place is completely relying on these trucks that come in every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a couple of roads get shut down. What happens here?
We
You
just
know?
riding
I
our
feel
EVs
kinda
out
like-
of the city.
I feel so small, insignificant, vulnerable. Like it's a, you know, not living in the city. It's
I have a lot of
overwhelming
trust
for
in
me.
the systems. We have made civilization so great. I'm not so scared of the cities. I
Yeah.
love them. I don't think they're going to fail
I like
as
to
quickly
visit
as
them.
you think.
I couldn't live. in
Now
them, I
you'll
don't
have
think.
there'll be signs, of course, before the apocalypse. Get the heck out of there. But I doubt if we have our EVs, we'll be in trouble. We could just scoot out.
If we have enough battery.
That's the easiest. Oh, the battery. Well, we need to get a couple extra lithium-ion batteries. We could bring them on the train. We just can't bring them on the plane. We can't bring any on the plane.
Statistically speaking, we don't go enough where I'm too worried about it. But like living in the city, I would have to have like I don't know.
We could have some more batteries.
Like in the city is like, I don't have like a bug out bag, but I feel like if I lived in a city, I'd be like, okay, I need a bug out bag and a plan.
I would.
Like,
I
to
honestly.
feel safe.
I honestly think, well, cars are not going to be safe. I think EVs would be safest because you can take them off road and you could take them to trails and walkways and things. Like that would be smartest.
Unless we get hit by a solar flare, and then all electronics or anything with the transistors done.
Thank goodness we have legs.
Yeah, I got strong legs. You'll be fine. I also feel like I can carry you a couple miles
What?
if I had to,
Okay.
just out of pure adrenaline and love.
All right. Do it when I'm dying. Let me walk it out for a while. We'll get more mileage that way.
I carry you like 10 feet. Baby, you think you can walk again for a little bit?
Yeah. I'd be like, no, I'm having a great time.
I do love that. I wish we could get. We have a goal of trying to get a couple or two. We have a couple couples in mind that we're trying to like plant the seed to
Get the
them
EVs, Nathan and Manuela.
Yep, they're one of the couples.
I think Brett and Amanda would like them too, but I don't know. Amanda might be a little freaked out by.
I'm working on Shane because we used to skateboard together. I'm like, dude, you
Bree
gotta
would
get a
love
one
a
wheel.
scooter. I don't think she's a one wheel girl, but she's
Also
a scooter.
playing around in those parking garages. You know, you had that little crash. It was kind of sucked, but going up the parking
Don't get
garage
too confident.
to the
He
top,
bought me. I had a scooter. It was a Segway, and then we bought this other one, which is called a Highboy, because the Segway, Mike didn't like the battery life on it. I loved the Segway. I
was
thought that the shock
unreliable.
absorbers were incredible. Yeah, but the rider experience was so much better than this one. Like, we're gonna get a new one for spring, so
But we're going to get you a good one with the good meaty tires and the shocks. Like, you're getting upgraded.
I want a really good upgrade one now that I know how much I use it.
Not the plastic rubber tires, but actual tires with air in them.
Yeah,
It's going to be huge for you.
it's gonna be
You're love it.
huge. I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm excited to cruise again. And now that we, in our town that we live, we have new restaurants popping in and bars and stuff. It's gonna be a different summer too. It's
Even
gonna be
though
fun.
we like to cruise down to the lake and just
we go
cruise
to
to
the
the
lake.
pavilion, and we just usually it's a parking lot or the pavilion, and we just kind of do circles and chat and
Mm-hmm.
cruise around each other.
It's really weird. We like do like synchronistic cruising.
Yeah,
We,
I
like,
like
we
to
move
weave
in
the pillar. I like to
tandem.
weave the pillars, and you like to just kind of do circles on the inside, and you're like sharing
It's very
ideas
beautiful.
with me and stuff, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, we could do that. And I'm like carving.
We don't even we don't even realize we're like doing like some weird
Well, we're just moving through
synchronistic
space.
dance while we're talking.
We never pull our phone out. We're never bored because we're moving through space and we're chatting, and yeah, it's a great.
Why is my phone on the table right now?
That's not supposed to happen on the My People podcast. We don't do phones on the table.
Okay. Well, you also don't let me have the seat, so I guess there's a first time for everything.
I don't know how I mess up the lighting to make the lighting so much better over there than here.
This is
but
better. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you.
This
I'm glad
is
we
crazy.
did that Jameson and pickle juice shot, and
Yeah, we
you
did the
decided
Jameson and
to
pickle juice.
jump into podcasts.
Is this a signing off? You're cutting me
I'm
off.
slowly signing off. Thanks for breaking
Signing
up
off.
the third wall on
I
that.
feel like I have so much more to say.
What do you want to talk about? Why don't you ask me a question?
Oh, perfect. That's too big of a question. What do you hope to gain from the podcasting?
I've talked about it before. I think the main thing was just I like networking, I like talking with people, but I'm also kind of lazy. I don't like having to drive to places, or leave my house.
So you made a garage into a
I love this
studio.
backyard. I love this house, and like especially in the summer and stuff.
He does.
Winter's not so bad. Winter I could go and do things, but in the summer it's like, no, I want to clean my pool, do something, and then come out here, and then if somebody just drives over here at 5 and I pop down the cameras and can have a chat, and then they hang out for a beer after or play some golf after, like if you build it, they'll come. I guess that's the plan. Like I can just have interesting people come to me,
I think it's amazing.
but also to network with other business owners and
Yeah.
get out my services like digital marketing and reach other business owners that I can help. So I think there's a lot of synergy between the My People podcast, Michigan Media House, and kind of like my goals and my calling, what I want to do.
I love it. I think it's really cool.
I like it too. It's going pretty good.
It's cool. And I think you plan the calls at the perfect time when I'm working late at night.
Yeah. So
My
I do
late
that
nights.
Tuesday, like I have that calendar set up, so I just send the link to whoever's going to be on the podcast or whoever's invited, and then they pick between Tuesday, Thursday, or Sunday.
I love that.
'Cause that's your days you work.
Thank you.
And if one person books, it doesn't allow anybody else to book, so I will never have more than one in a day.
It's very cool. I really think you should get the judge on that I had today.
I'd love it.
He was amazing. Let's get him on.
I like to get judges, mayor. I mean, who knows where it goes? But I mean, the more it grows, the more like crazy we can get with people coming on.
It's true.
Who knows where it goes?
It's true.
And I like that it's going to be always. I love the double meaning, my people, because it can also be just my friends.
Yeah.
But then it's also like obviously Michigan people from Michigan. It'll always be that. So I like it.
Save a spot for your wife every once in a while.
You can
It's
come on whenever you
fun.
want. I think people are gonna love that.
I was nervous, but this was kind of fun.
Well, I'm a really good host.
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. I love you, and I'm definitely gonna
course.
have you on again.
Thank you. Love you.